Hello, my beautiful singles. Elsie here to do a reading for you. How are you? How are you doing? Thanks so much for clicking here. Thought I'd just come by and drop some energy for you. Look, we have a full moon today. I think I'm reading it's like early in the morning here where I am. And we're having a full moon today. And this full moon is, it's a full moon in Libra. And it's really about heightened emotions and kind of like romance, relationships, maybe relationship drama or epiphanies about relationships. But it's not only that, singles. It's like today is the full moon in Libra, and it is also Venus that's coming out of retrograde today. So look, there's going to be a lot of clarity. Venus goes direct today, and it's giving us forward movement in relationships and resolutions in those relationships. And so all those things that you've been planning and hope for some of you, some of those things might start showing up, next week because of the end of this cycle. And Libra is always about compromise and negotiating and balancing, and so that's what I feel like is happening here, because you are, in fact, like some of you, if you're a Libra or a Taurus, you're a Venusian sign. So very interesting energy this weekend. So let's find out what's going on with the singles. I'm just not gonna do it in any specific way. I'm just gonna throw cards and see what I get for psychic hits, and let's do it that way. And so this is for anybody who logs in here. I mean, this could be about you. Maybe it's not, but I'll call out the signs and symbols if you need to hear them or see them in order to know what's going on. Let's find out what's going on with the collective singles for the weekend. Tell me about the singles. Queen of Swords, Page of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. Well, that sort of paints a picture, doesn't it? A little bit. So we've got the Queen of Swords. It feels like, this being Libra, we're talking about this full moon in Libra energy. And the Page of Wands is giving me the energy of something that is exciting, or there's a spark flying, or I'm excited. It's like the beginning of something. I'm going to take a tiny risk of some sort, and I'm going to say something. And it feels like some of you might get a confession of some sort out of all of this. The Ace of Cups is here. It's like when that person opened up that oyster, like they probably didn't expect to see that big pearl sitting there, right? And so it feels almost like it's a bit of a surprise, this Ace of Cups. And I feel like it's somebody who's expressing that they have some sort of spark of emotion for you. That's what it feels like here. We have the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse on the bottom of the deck. So maybe you weren't expecting it, or you're thinking, nah, there's no way. This person isn't interested in me that way. Let's find out what else is going on here. I feel like somebody is going to say something. That's going to be like, they're going to tell you here, and they're going to be really straight and honest with you. Like it might even be a little bit uncomfortable. I'm just saying. We got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius here. We have Sagittarius energy and Cancer energy here. Tell me more. We've got the Six of Wands. We've got the Star. So this is something that you've hoped for. Oh, we have a match set. We have a pair of bookends here. So the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. The King of Swords and the Queen of Swords aren't exactly the most romantic. However, that being said, they are two that understand each other. And so these two are going to give each other great clarity as it pertains to a relationship. They're not the ones that are going to be fleeting and run at the fire and all of that. They're being very logical and reasonable and very factual. Like maybe we should talk about it. If this shouldn't work out for us, like maybe we should find an exit plan. So you're not sad and I'm not sad. Like it's very logical and grounded. But I really do feel that there is somebody here who has had a hope that you would allow them to give you attention. The Six of Wands is here, and I feel like somebody's hoping to get your attention or hoping to get attention from you. Like it could be physical attention because the Wands are here. Of course, this is Leo, very sexual energy, right? So it could be that they're hoping to get more attention from you, but it also could be that there's somebody here who is wanting to give you attention, but they're hoping that that you two can have a conversation. I think it's like a little bit of a spark, and it's very exciting here. It does feel like with this Ace of Cups, and usually with the Ace of Cups, like I do see, a new beginning, or this is like we're going to talk about our feelings finally, but it almost feels like a surprise with this one here. It feels like you're not expecting it. It's maybe you have feelings for somebody. It's not like totally out of the blue, but maybe you're not expecting someone to fess up here. Tell me more. Tell me more. Do you see my little scrying mirror? Got it from my friend Pete. He's got an Etsy store, Paranormal Pete. It's a scrying mirror. Like, I know Baba Jolie is like the scryer, but I don't know what's going on here. I'll just watch. If I see anything, I'll let you know. I've been watching it for a couple of days. Okay, so we got the Death card. Look at that. Something is changing big. Look, everything is like these horses are scattering, right? And so when bad weather comes, the horses do get a little bit antsy, especially when it's like, like tornadoes or rain and stuff like that. It does feel like somebody here is like keeping themselves solid or sturdy in the chaos is what it feels like. So I don't know if you're a Scorpio, but that is exactly who Scorpio is, right? Keeping themselves centered in the chaos. So it feels like maybe there's emotional chaos going on around you, but you're ready for the change. It feels like you're like standing still in the chaos while all the horses are trampling through here. So it feels like there is some sort of big transformation that is showing up here. And I think it's a surprise. I think it's surprising you. You could either be the one that has the surprise feelings or the one who's expressing them. But somebody here is going to express them. Otherwise, these two, the King and the Queen of Swords, wouldn't be here. We do have the Page of Pentacles. So there is a pentacle about to be planted here, and it's like magical growth. It feels like somebody here is going to want to start something in the 3D, so we're no longer thinking about it, we're no longer dreaming about it, we're bringing it in a place where we can touch it, taste it, smell it, right? We're now materializing it here. We do have the Eight of Swords. So I think that the reason why you might be a little bit like confused is because I feel like your hands were tied and you're like, no. I saw the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse on the bottom of the deck, and I think that you were thinking, no, this person isn't interested in me. I haven't heard from them. They haven't said a word, but really they could be a Scorpio. They could be a Gemini. I'm just saying, like this Eight of Swords here, it feels like somebody felt like their hands were tied, that they really couldn't say anything, that maybe they didn't feel like they had enough to offer you, or they didn't have a big enough offer to give you. I feel like they almost blurted out here because there's a lot of words being said between the King and the Queen of Swords. They're the very verbal ones, right? They're the cerebral ones that like a lot of words. Tell me about the Death card. What is changing here? What's going on? We've got the Nine of Swords. So somebody here was worried because of the silence. Look, silence doesn't always mean that there's no answer. Silence just means, look, I need to think about it for a minute. And I think there was somebody here who's probably an air sign. Look, if you're an air sign, you're always up in your head, right? And you could be an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And I feel like somebody who's maybe an air sign is very up in their head. Just feeling like they're, it's like how can I say? There's a quote, what is it? It's like when you can't make a decision and you're sort of paralyzed to make the decision. And it feels like that's what this was. We've got 9 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 8 of Swords. It feels like somebody here was, and we got the King and the Queen of Swords. So we've got obviously people who are up in their heads and not really saying anything, like not really communicating it, but keeping it under the surface with the 7 of Swords. I'm not really sure, sort of peeking around the corner from the tree, saying, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of worried that if I say something, that either won't be received correctly or that I'll seem like I'm not being genuine. Analysis paralysis. That's what I was thinking about. So it feels like somebody here is such an analyzer, like this person here is somebody who overanalyzes everything. So somebody's up in their head. So if there is silence between you and someone else, I feel like it probably is coming to an end in the next couple of days because of this full moon. But it feels like that somebody is keeping it to themselves until they know for sure. We do have the 2 of Cups, and they know for sure. So I feel like there is going to be some sort of clarity you're going to receive. And although the 9 of Swords is worry and the 7 of Swords is keeping it under the surface, I think that the 2 of Cups is telling me that there is like a burst of energy here with this excitement, and somebody sort of says, look, I've got feelings for you. Like it feels like it's that sort of thing. Tell me about the Page of Wands. I want more about that. And the thing is they're going to be very clearly awkward. It feels like, look, we've got the Aquarius here. Aquarius, there's a reason that they don't really say it at first, that they take it away and think about it first. And it's because they're scared they're going to say the wrong thing. It's sort of like a perfectionist thought pattern. And so it feels like somebody here maybe didn't want to say anything until they were absolutely sure, until they could formulate the thought and realize, like, be clear with what they were going to say. And tell me about this Page of Wands, please. It's like they're bursting at the seams, but they're too scared to say so. So they go into their comfort zone until they have a breakthrough. The comfort zone is the Four of Pentacles, and then the breakthrough is the Sun. So until they have a breakthrough, look, I feel like we're talking about you, that you know somebody. And maybe you're not their bestie, but the Three of Pentacles is being in the same social group or the same network. Maybe there's somebody who's at your work and they're like, ugh, we're at work. Like, is this going to even, like, will we hate each other if it doesn't work out and then we got to work in the same place? So it feels like the Three of Pentacles is telling me that this person wants to establish a foundation, but we're going to talk about it first. We're going to talk about it, be really honest with each other, and we're going to figure out a plan before I just jump at it, right? And I think that's why all these swords are showing up. So there is somebody here who's trying to get stability of their emotions in the Four of Cups, and then they're waiting for the breakthrough. They're waiting for go time. When the universe says, look, lights are on, there's nothing you can hide from, it's time to say it. I feel like there's spiritual growth here. It feels like somebody is going, like, breaking through to the next level. It feels like this person is somebody who doesn't usually say it out loud, whether it's the King or the Queen of Wands. Somebody here that doesn't usually say it out loud right away. And I think that this person is trying to convince themselves that they need to say it out loud. But it feels like there has to be a breakthrough first. And it could be because this person knows that if we get into a relationship and you guys really are in the same, like, it's like the movie Friends, right? or the sitcom Friends. It's like Chandler didn't say anything for a really long time because he knew that it could break up the friend group. And I feel like it's kind of like that sort of energy. If it didn't work out, then maybe it breaks up the friend group. So I think that somebody's been holding back, trying to formulate the right words to say something, because they know the King of Swords knows they're coming up against the Queen of Swords. And whether we're talking about Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius energy or not, somebody who's thinking analytically like this is someone who's thinking about everything. If I do this, that could happen. If I do this, this could happen. But then you get into analysis paralysis, right? All right. Tell me about this Two of Cups here. We've got the Nine of Cups. So what you're getting is somebody who's already happy with themselves. So they're already quite confident that they're happy alone. So this is somebody who's quite happy to be alone, but they are looking at you as some kind of a new beginning here, because the World card is here. They're looking at you like, you know what? I thought I was happy enough alone, but I feel like maybe it's time to figure it out here. The Five of Wands, there's like everybody here has picked themselves a tree. Yeah, everybody's picked themselves a tree, but there's one poor fellow running around in the center, doesn't really know what to do. Doesn't know what to do with themselves, right? So whether you're feminine or masculine, it feels like you can't make a decision or you're holding back. You're holding back on some sort of a new beginning. Whoever is the one who's delivering the news, if that's you and you're waiting to say something to somebody and you haven't just yet, I feel like the Five of Wands is you, that you're sort of like, I don't know where to put my wand. I'm not really sure where to put my wand. Where do I start? How do I take action? Because he's carrying around the Ace of Wands, right? So I want to say that wait until this moon closes out, because the World card is the end of the chapter and the full moons are the end of the cycle. And so I feel like you should wait until the full moon is done, give it a couple days, and then go ahead and make change. Because I feel like somebody here is realize that there is some sort of a destined connection here, no matter what your sign is. Look, it could be Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. We've got more Scorpio here. We've got Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. We've got Leo. We've got Sagittarius energy here. Got lots of water energy here, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. And so it could be that somebody here is waiting for the right time, waiting for destiny to say, it's go time. It's time for you to make change here. It's time for you to find a place to put down your wand. Tell me more about the singles, please. It does feel like somebody's getting really clear on what they want, and which makes sense because Venus is out of retrograde today. So somebody is like, it's like go time. It's like they're really clear on what they want now. But now they just have to formulate the words or find the correct way to say it, is what it feels like. And for some people, they're very affected by the moon, right? And this one is, although it's Libra, and Libra is always about compromise, negotiating, and, balancing things, being very gracious. And Libra is always about others, but this is, the opposite sign of Libra is Aries, and that is more about the self. So it's kind of like somebody is trying to look at it from your point of view as well as their own point of view, is what it feels like here. They're being very analytical here. Tell me what this outcome is about here for the singles. We've got somebody traveling like a pirate with a map here. We've got somebody trying to find their way. The Knight of Pentacles is here. And then we have the Page of Swords. So somebody is really taking a look at that map. What do I really want? What do I really want here? What exactly is it that I want? What's the end game? So I think that's why somebody has been moving really slowly and quietly. They've been observing from a distance. So they might be watching you on socials, or they might be at work watching how you deal with other people, or they might be in the network or in the social group watching how you deal with other people. They might be watching you from a distance, but I feel like what this really is this person's holding back, but I think that they really want to move forward. Like they've been holding themselves back emotionally. You can see that big waterfall behind the 8 wands, and it feels like they've been holding themselves back emotionally here from taking some sort of an action. Why is that? Why are they holding themselves back? Because they need to move on from somewhere else. And I think that they're chaotic in the mind also. I feel like the Six of Swords is telling me that someone lives in the chaos of the mind, which would account for all of the air energy that we're seeing. So somebody's really up in their head here. And it does feel like with the Six of Swords that somebody needs to move on and get to a calmer place in the mind before they are ready to step forward here. We've got the Two of Swords. Yeah, they're a little bit blocked. Sort of feel like their eyes are covered, shooting blind here. And then the Two of Wands. So you know what it is they want to be prepared, which kind of checks out if we are talking whatever sign we're talking about. There's a lot of fixed sign energy here. The fixed signs for sure don't like surprises. But it does feel like there needs to be a little bit of preparation because somebody here feels a little bit blocked and they don't want to go in blind. We do have 6 and 2 is 8. We already saw the 8 swords here. Where is it? We saw, yeah, the 8 swords is here. So somebody is sort of locked in the prison of the mind, not able to make a decision, but they are going to make preparations to do that. What's the outcome here, please? I feel like they're preparing because they're going to take action because they're at the crossroads here, right? They're at the Two of Wands. They're going to take action here. Tell me what the outcome is here, please. We have the Ace of Wands, we have the 10 of Swords in the reverse, we have the King of Cups, and we have the Strength card. So it feels like somebody here is trying to find their emotional strength. They're trying to face their fears of letting their feelings come to the surface. The King of Cups is the one who is emotionally intelligent, who's emotionally ready for a relationship, but also someone who likes to play their cards close to the chest. And this particular Strength card tells me that somebody here needs to face their fears and bring some stuff to the surface here. The 10 of Swords is here in the reverse. I think that they also are afraid they're going to get rejected and going to get hurt, but they are very excited at the prospect of starting something new with you or having some sort of new connection with you here. Look at that. Justice is here. It's Libra again. I'm telling you, somebody's going to feel something around the Libra moon here. Somebody's going to hear something from their counterpart here. 5 of Pentacles, somebody wants to reconnect. So especially for those of you who maybe you went out on a date, maybe you had an encounter with this person. Maybe it was a holding of a hand or a kiss or something. And all of a sudden they went underground and you're like, what happened? Like, where'd they go? I feel like they're ready to connect. They're ready to reconnect because the 5 of Pentacles is in the reverse. And Justice is here. So I feel like you're going to get justice from the reconnect here. They might have gone underground because of the 3 of Cups. Maybe they weren't sure, or maybe they were, at the tail end of something else that they needed to figure out or clear out. Energy they needed to clear out before they could bring you into their life. Yeah, they were in trying to get a perspective here. They were in a pause because I feel like there was some things that weren't quite over. I'm seeing the 3 of Cups as like maybe happiness or maybe people who were together are no longer together, or maybe this was their fear that maybe they would break up the friend group. If because this is, you know, celebration usually with friends and soulmates, right? And so maybe they were scared that they were going to break up the friend group. But I feel like somebody is getting a different perspective and is going to reconnect with you and is probably going to restore the connection, is what it feels like. There's going to be a restoration of the connection here. All right. I'm going to leave that right there. Thank you so much, singles, for coming here and watching. I do appreciate you. I really hope this is for you. I really hope so. I'm going to go for now, and I'll be back because that's what I do. I'm always back. Love you guys. Bye.